electronic invisibility and operation from anywhere. This plane does not need to hide in expensive hangars. It hides in plain sight within the electromagnetic spectrum, leaving its opponents blind before they even know they are under attack. Today, we deeply analyze the secret concept of the Swedish fighter that breaks all laws of physics. I am talking about the Saab JAS-39 Gripen in its EF version. So get ready. Make sure to subscribe, activate the notification bell, and smash that like button. Let's start with this technological madness. The Saab JAS-39 Gripen in its EF version is basically a supersonic supercomputer wrapped in an armor of titanium, aluminum, and high-resistance carbon fiber. To help you understand the magnitude of the power we are talking about, this plane uses a General Electric F414 engine, a brutal piece of engineering that generates 22,000 pounds of thrust. In maximum speed tests conducted over the Baltic Sea in January of this year, the plane maintained a constant supersonic cruise speed without having to activate the afterburner, which is technically known as supercruise. Very few planes in the history of humanity can fly faster than sound without emptying their fuel tanks in 5 minutes, but the Gripen does it as if it were a walk in the park. This capability not only saves fuel, but drastically reduces the thermal signature of the aircraft, making it much harder to detect by enemy heat-seeking systems. Added to this is its aerodynamic design with a canard configuration, those small front wings that act as active pitch rudders. These allow the nose of the plane to point instantly where the pilot looks, granting it maneuvering authority in close combat that defies inertia and surpasses much heavier fighters. This model of 2026 has extended its operational range to 4,000 kilometers thanks to 3 external fuel tanks of 1,703 liters each. But what really breaks the logic of conventional aviation is its incredible load capacity and versatility. The plane counts on 10 external hardpoints for weaponry and sensors, allowing it to carry up to 8 tons of war equipment. What is fascinating is that its open architecture allows it to integrate missiles from any source, whether American, European, or Israeli, without needing to modify the source code, granting it a logistical flexibility that no other fighter possesses. Imagine a machine that measures barely 15 meters long, simultaneously carrying 7 long-range missiles, 2 short-range missiles for immediate defense, and still having space to spare for reconnaissance sensors. But here comes the fact that leaves engineers from other countries with their mouths open: the pressure on the pavement. The Swedish designers created a reinforced landing gear with special high-pressure tires that allow the plane not to sink into or damage the asphalt of a common civil road. In the military maneuvers of March of this year, it was officially documented that the plane can land on an improvised runway of only 500 meters long and be back in the air in less than 800 meters. To put this into perspective, a normal passenger plane would need almost 2,000 meters to perform the same maneuver. This staggering difference is what allows Sweden to convert any highway in the country into a secret airbase that is impossible to track in the middle of a conflict. This nullifies the strategy of any invader trying to bomb major airports, as the Air Force simply disperses into hundreds of road sections hidden under the foliage of the forests, operating with minimal logistics that fit into a couple of standard trucks. If the external structure seems impressive to you, the electronic brain of this fighter is simply from another planet. The architecture of the Gripen is designed in a revolutionary way. They have totally separated the software that makes the plane fly from the software that handles the combat mission. Why is this a total game changer in this 2026? Because in planes from other countries, if you want to update the firing system or the radars, you have to certify the entire plane again, a process that takes years and costs millions. On the Gripen, technicians can install a combat update or a new weapon in a matter of hours or days, as if you were downloading a new application on your smartphone. This guarantees that the plane never falls behind the new threats that appear every week on the modern battlefield. In this year, human-machine collaboration has been perfected greatly through artificial intelligence that helps the pilot filter the most critical information in milliseconds. All this data is projected onto a wide-area display, a unique touch surface that occupies the entire front panel, replacing analog gauges and offering a divine view of the battlefield. But this does not stay only on the panel, as the pilot counts on the Targo 2 helmet system and 3D audio, which projects flight data and the exact direction of threats directly onto the visor and into the pilot's ears, allowing them to react instinctively before even looking at the radar. Furthermore, the plane possesses an ultra-secret data network called TIDLS, This system is so advanced that it allows 4 planes to fly in a closed formation and share absolutely all the information from their sensors silently. One plane can be flying at very low altitude, hidden by mountains and with its own radar turned off to avoid detection, while its wingman, flying at 10,000 meters of altitude and 100 kilometers away, sends the exact position of enemy tanks and planes directly to his helmet. The pilot below simply receives the visual signal, fires his missile, and retreats without the enemy having received a single radar alert on their screens. It is a hive-mind coordination that multiplies combat power in a terrifying way. It is extremely incredible, right? But tell me, do you think the intelligence of a plane is worth more than its speed in a real battle? Do not forget to subscribe and hit like if you are enjoying the video, because what is coming up about its invisibility system is the most shocking part of all. Let's continue. This does not end here. We arrive at the key point of the matter, the true secret concept that defies what we believed possible, the electronic warfare system known as Orexis. This system, developed by the defense company SAAB, is the heart of the Swedish mystery. In simulated combat training missions, which took place just a few weeks ago in this 2026, a single Gripen managed to leave the radars of a state-of-the-art air defense network completely blind. The system uses gallium nitride transmitters to detect the enemy signal in millionths of a second, process it, and send back a modified signal that causes enemy operators to see interference or, what is worse, multiple phantom planes on their screens with 360-degree coverage. But the technology does not stop there. The Gripen uses the Raven ES-05 radar, which features an innovative antenna mounted on an inclined swash plate. This allows it to have a field of view of 100 degrees to each side, adding up to a total of 200 degrees of scanning. This is madness, because it allows the pilot to fire a missile and turn the plane almost 90 degrees to fly away from danger while still guiding the missile toward its target. It can even track enemies that have already passed its lateral line. And if that were not enough, the plane counts on the Skyward GIRST infrared sensor. This device emits no radio signal, so the enemy has no way of knowing they are being observed. The sensor simply reads the heat emitted by the engines of rival planes at distances greater than 100 kilometers. It is the perfect partner for the Meteor missile, which, with its ramjet engine, maintains a supersonic speed during its entire trajectory, eliminating any possibility of escape for the target. This entire set of sensors allows the pilot to have total situational awareness. He knows exactly what is happening above, below, and behind him, projected onto a single giant wide-area touchscreen that occupies the entire front dashboard of the cockpit. What really finishes breaking all the laws of military logic is how this plane survives in real life. While a traditional fifth-generation fighter needs a base with air conditioning and hundreds of engineers, the Gripen is designed for guerrilla logistics. In the tests of this 2026, it was demonstrated that a team of only 6 people, composed of 1 expert technician and 5 recruits with barely a few weeks of training, can refuel and rearm the plane with heavy missiles in less than 10 minutes. This means the plane can land on a road, hide under some trees, load up with missiles, and return to combat before the enemy knows what happened. Additionally, the cost per flight hour is almost 10 times lower than that of its most famous competitors. This allows Swedish pilots to fly more hours and practice extreme maneuvers that others do not dare to attempt for fear of damaging the equipment. The plane features a structure designed to last 8,000 flight hours under the most brutal conditions of the Arctic. It is a machine of total war, thought out to function when the rest of the world has run out of runways and bases. It is, without a doubt, the definitive tool for a country that knows it does not need to be the biggest to be the most dangerous. Upon finishing this deep analysis, it becomes clear that what Sweden is teaching us in this year 2026 is a lesson in humility for the rest of the world. The true secret concept of the Gripen was not a sci-fi engine or a wing with strange shapes. The secret is intelligence applied to survival. They have created a machine that does not depend on vulnerable military bases, that can operate from the asphalt of a communal road, and that can hack the electronic battlefield to become invisible at will. It is a masterpiece of military engineering that proves that the laws of physics can be bent in your favor if you have enough ingenuity not to follow everyone else's rules. Aerial warfare is no longer about who has the biggest engine, but who has the fastest system to process reality and deceive the adversary. What did you think of this secret fighter? Leave me in the comments what you liked most about the video, and do not forget to subscribe right now. activate the notification bell, and leave your like so you don't miss any of our upcoming military stories. Thanks for staying until the end. See you in the next video.